Good afternoon, everyone. Here we are again, getting ready to start another academy. We're gearing up for Academy 46. So per the state and training standards, we have to do some type of instructor meeting. This is the easiest way to do this. We found there's one advantage that came from the COVID times, is that we can do these kind of virtual meetings. So we're allowed to do this. We check the box for the rule. I will not keep your time. It's very basic information that I have to provide you guys. So these meetings are very similar to all of our kind of veteran instructors. So if you'll just bear with me, I know everybody's busy, but just get through these few slides and bear listening to me, and it won't take very long. Okay, so some important academy dates. Our start date is going to be on June 5th. June 5th will be the first day of the academy. We will have our kickoff. Originally, I sent out an email saying it would be at 11 o'clock. It's now been pushed back to 1300. So if you can make that, great. Just come out, show support for the cadets beginning this journey in the academy. The next probably important date that you guys are concerned with maybe would be the state exam. So they'll start June 5th and the state exam will be October 27th. So from summer to fall. Graduation is always, we don't have a date for that yet. We always kind of set that later in the academy when we figure out how many cadets we're going to have. Post academy should run from October 30th to November 3rd. That would be the first week of post academy, and then from November 6th to November 10th will be the second week of post academy. So pretty much immediately after November 10th, the cadets should be starting field training. Okay, back to this, the same as it has been for the last couple of academies that we've been here at Durham Tech. You have the option to be paid for your time teaching or assisting with BLET classes. You do not have to be the primary instructor. If you're assisting with the class, you can be paid. Role players can also be paid. We're trying to incentivize getting role players out here, getting more instructors out, because the more instructors, the better, especially in some of these longer blocks and the more practical heavy blocks. So please consider that. If anybody who's not already on Durham Tech's payroll, we have added a few instructors. If you would like to be, please reach out to me or Deputy Clark, and we'll guide you through that and put you in contact with either Brian Bishop or Sharmonique Williams with Durham Tech to get you guys onboarded so you guys can be paid for your time. All right, so for this class, we're starting off with a little bit of a smaller group than we have in the last two academies. The last two academies, we've had about 19 or 20 cadets starting. This academy will be starting with 12. 10 of those will be with our agency. 4 of the 10 will be from the detention center. The other 2 cadets will come from one from NC State Parks and one from Duke University Campus Police. We started kind of last academy, we had 2 from State Parks. They kind of really enjoyed how the instructors and how the training division ran the academy, so they're going to kind of start funneling their people to our academy, which is a good thing. Duke University Campus Police, they will be sending 1. I think that's going to be a new partnership for us. I think they're going to start sending their people to our academy. So our academy should continue to grow in the near future, and we should be having other agencies attending, which is a good thing. I would like to welcome some new instructors we have here that just recently completed general instructor school. So Deputy Clark, Deputy Wilborn, Deputy Salguero, and Deputy Nolan have all recently completed general instructor school. So they will be teaching in this academy for the first time. So that's good news. It's always good to add new instructors with new ideas. Moving on, just like always, I load all of the instructor lesson plans, the handouts that are required for all the blocks, and the PowerPoints that you're required to use to the LEO public drive. So to access, it's the same as it was last time. The only change is you'll be going to the BLET 46 folder. So you go to LEO public, LEO DO training, then go to BLET info, and then the BLET 46 folder, and you should be able to find the lesson plans for your class, the handouts for your class, and the PowerPoints for your class. You can also, the state provides with the curriculum we're teaching, any lesson plan revisions, so you can actually go in and see if there's any revisions made to your lesson plan. You can also see the course management guide. I know it's a little bit of reading, but it does explain the rules and regulations of BLET as far as like instructor ratios for specialized courses, and it explains equipment or materials needed for each of your class. And we have learned some things going through that in the past that we didn't know that we were required to have. So it's kind of good, especially if you're going to be the lead instructor, to kind of breeze through that. At least look at the course that you're teaching in the course management guide, just to make sure you're doing everything by the rules of standards. As far as instructor attire goes, you know, classroom is when you're in the classroom, it's Class A or Class C or business attire. You know, I'm not too strict on all that, but when you're in the classroom, you need to be in one of those three. I know driving and firearms and some of our outside blocks a little different. It's a little different standard there, but you guys have all taught in this before, so you guys know what the expectations are. As far as exams and answer keys, so last academy we transitioned to getting rid of paper tests, and we went to the college Durham Tech's online testing system, which was Sakai. They've since gotten rid of that and upgraded to Canvas, so we've all, Pat and I have had to take training on that. So it's different, and we really need you guys to submit your exams and answer keys for your blocks. You can't send them too early. Like, please get them to us as early as possible, because we have to go through, review all the exams, all the answers, make sure they're from the objectives, and then we have to go in and physically input all the questions into Canvas. So it's a little bit of a process. It doesn't sound more efficient than what we were doing, but it actually is, because the college, it grades all the tests for us automatically, and it stores all the tests and the results with the college, so we always have a record of it. So please, 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 I can't ask you enough, please get your exam. If you know you're teaching, get your exam and answer keys to us as soon as possible. I don't care if you're teaching week 21, please get it to us as soon as possible. If you've already sent your exam and answer key, thank you, we appreciate that, because we need the extra time. As the last thing I'll say about the exams, please try to have your exams to be at least 20 questions long. If they're longer than that, great. These 10 question tests, 15 question tests, we can't do that anymore. We need more questions, the better. I know it's putting a little more work on you guys, and I'm sorry for that, but it helps the cadets when we get time to studying for the state exam, that they have more material to study. So please submit a 20 question test. If you submit a test that's below 20 questions, we're going to send it back and ask you to add some questions. So please send at least 20 questions. If you do more, that's great. And some of the blocks you can do more than 20, because it's a long block. So please consider that. As far as the last thing about exams and answer keys, no more true and false questions on exams. None of the state exam questions are true or false. They're all multiple choice. The state recommends that when we do testing, they all be multiple choice. So no more true and false. I'd rather not have any fill in the blank questions, but try to keep them all multiple choice questions. As far as practicals go, please be creative with your practicals. Pat and I are always willing to help with practicals. If you have any questions or need any help, or if there's some way that we can improve it that you think, and something you need, please tell us, and we'll try to figure it out, try to get you what you need. As far as the basic equipment, you're always going to have that. If we're running low on something or something like that, please let us know, and then we'll try to fix it. Starting with this academy, we will have a lesson plan for you. We've always had the lesson plan books in the classroom, within all the 3 big huge binders full of instructor lesson plans. We will start having your lesson plan on the podium. That way, we have found out, like with audits, the state is subject to pop in and audit you, and when they may not do a full audit, they may just come in and say, okay, what are you teaching today? Do you have the correct lesson plan? Do you have the correct DVD? Those type of things. So from now on, Pat or I will have a lesson plan, instructor lesson plan on the podium. If you don't want to use it, if you already have your own, great, but we're going to have that on there just so we make sure we're in compliance. Moving on to disciplinary issues, we all know you guys can all handle that stuff. If it's anything major, violating rules, things like that, make sure you inform Pat or myself, and then we will handle it. If there's just stuff you guys can handle out there, great, but please let us know about any disciplinary issues at all. All right, this slide kind of is just another reminder for you to review your most current lesson plan. I had an instructor last academy. It was close to the date they were getting ready to teach, and kind of took for granted that their lesson plan hadn't changed very much over the last couple years. And then when they realized they were looking at their lesson plan, that maybe 25 to 30% of the lesson plan had changed completely. So they had to redo their tests and redo everything. And so please don't take for granted that you don't think your lesson plan is going to change. Please look at the revisions and just go in and double check, so we're making sure the cadets are getting the most up-to-date material, because that's what's going to be on the state exam, and we don't want to put them at a disadvantage. I've already touched on the submitting your exams and answer keys, so I'm not going to talk about that anymore. There's an exam template. Please, when you're submitting your exam, please make sure you submit that. That'll be on the BLET 46 folder. Please use that template when you're submitting your exam and answer key. Also, when you're doing your answer key, please provide us what objective that question covers and the page number in the instructor lesson plan where that answer can be found. That way, if there's any issues with any test questions, or cadets come up to Pat or I and say, hey, I have a problem with this question, that I feel like both these answers are correct, or there's a discrepancy, that way we can go right to the instructor lesson plan and go ahead and sort it out. So please do that for us. Also, a big thing, a lot of these blocks of instructions have safety brief forms. They have practical exercise checkoff sheets. Pat and I have to receive all those forms. All those forms have to go in the cadet's file. There's an audit sheet in their file that the state comes in, and when they ask to see their files, and if those sheets aren't in there, is basically they didn't complete the course. It doesn't matter if I swear that they completed it, or I say this, or you come in as the instructor and say they completed it. If that form's not in there, it's not signed, it's not checked off, they're going to say, yeah, well, we believe you, but at the same time, you didn't do the form, so that they didn't complete this class, so they're going to have to redo the whole class. So it seems kind of crazy, but that's what CJ standards ask for. So these forms all have to be in their file. So please make sure that when you're reading your instructor notes and you're looking at your handouts, that you complete these forms and do it correctly. I'm going to touch on this again. Please utilize role players in your blocks of instruction. If you need help getting role players, please let me or Pat know. Me and Pat are always willing to step in if we're not tied up doing something else. But please, if you know you have a block with a lot of practicals, please reach out to people and see if they'll come help, even if it's just for a couple hours, role play and help out, because the more role players we have, the better it is. And honestly, me and Pat can help, and I actually like helping, but sometimes it finds I feel like the cadets get a little like weirded out when it's me or when it's Pat out there, since I guess we're kind of running the academy. So any outside people, range of experience, anything like that, just please utilize role players if you can. And also remember, role players can be paid by Durham Tech. All right, guys, this is the end of this. Like I said, I appreciate your patience, and I appreciate you taking the time to do this, since it is a requirement. If you have any questions, you know where to reach me. That's my cell number, my office number, and my email address. Like I said, please reach out to Pat or I if you guys need anything, have any ideas about your class that you want to toss around, anything like that. If there's going to be any conflicts or anything like that, please let us know as soon as possible so we can adjust the schedule or find another instructor or find additional instructors. But I really appreciate all of you guys for stepping up. I know everybody's stretched really thin right now with jail shifts and whatever in your regular duties, and I appreciate everything you guys do for the academy. We could not run this program without you guys. So once again, thank you, and if you need me for anything, just give me a call.